Most people think thought leadership starts with content. Nope, it doesn't. That's why so many experts spend years creating content, posting consistently, working incredibly hard, and never become the go-to authority in their industry. There are a couple critical steps that must be done first if you want to achieve thought leader status, and if you want all the benefits that come with that. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why I never begin with content and how starting with the right strategy changes everything. Let's dive right in. When most people decide they want to become a thought leader, the first questions they ask are, what should I post? Which platform should I use? How often should I post? How long should my videos be? What should I talk about? Those all sound like reasonable questions. They're just the wrong questions. They all assume the same thing. They assume that content comes first, and it shouldn't. Now, looking back, I've always been wired this way. When I was a teenager, my grandpa would have me pull weeds in his flower beds. I'd do the work, I'd pull them all out. Then a couple weeks later, the weeds were back, and I hated it. Not because I didn't like working, but because I hated doing the same work over and over again. I wanted to solve the problem once. I wanted to put down like weed block tarp or wood chips, something that would keep the weeds from coming back. Now today, I realize that's the exact same way that I approach marketing. I don't want to create content for the sake of creating content. I don't want my efforts to be like a hamster wheel that goes nowhere. I want to build something that keeps working. That's why it also bothers me when someone introduces me as a videographer, because that's not what I do. A videographer creates videos, I engineer outcomes. Content just happens to be one of the tools. Every piece of content we create is part of a much larger machine, a machine designed to produce specific outcomes. That outcome is thought leadership. Content is an activity, thought leadership is a tactical operation. When someone tells me, I need more leads, I don't immediately start talking about content. I ask questions. How many leads are you getting now? Where do those leads primarily come from? Is it referrals? Is it word of mouth? Advertising? What does your funnel look like? What offers are already working? Which offers do you want more people buying? See, I'm trying to understand the outcome before we ever talk about content. Most people create content hoping something great will happen. They think, if I can just create the right video that goes viral, everything will change for me. I will have arrived. It's like playing the lottery and having no control over the outcome. But I know exactly the outcome we're aiming for. I create content already knowing the results it will produce, then I simply watch it unfold. Once we know the outcome, next we identify the dream client, not just the niche, but the actual people. Who are they? What problems are they trying to solve? What goals are they trying to achieve? What are they already spending money to accomplish? See, this gives us much more clarity than simply choosing a niche. It helps us know exactly who we want to attract, and just as importantly, who we don't want to attract. Most experts want to start with their expertise, but I start with their dream client's problems because that's what people search for. People don't wake up thinking, I hope I find an expert today. They wake up with a challenge or an obstacle or some goal, something they need to accomplish. And that's what they're searching for. So that's how we connect expertise with demand. Once we understand our dream client, now we map out the category, not based on what you're passionate about or what you want to talk about. It's based on what your dream clients are already searching for online. Now think about this. If someone tells me, I'm passionate about leadership, I have some questions for them. I'll ask them, what transformation have you actually helped leaders achieve? Do you have level 1 expertise? Level 2? Do you have level 3? Because you have no business aspiring to be a thought leader if you aren't doing the work of a level 3 expert. A lot of marketers spend time talking about the demographics and the psychographics of their dream clients, and those things certainly have value. When you're filming, those things help you visualize who you're talking to. You can improve the words that you speak more directly to them. But there's something much more valuable and way more effective. It's search intent in the form of specific questions. This is gold, because now we're not just identifying a person, we're identifying a moment when someone realizes they need help. when they're actively looking for answers. And if we've created the right content, they find us. And that's a completely different strategy than posting content and hoping your audience happens to see it. Only after we've done all of that do we create the content. Now every episode has a purpose. Every video answers a very specific question. Each piece of content moves us towards category ownership. Most people think each piece of content is a lottery ticket, but in my experience, every piece of content is another component in a machine that predictably produces thought leadership. If you start with the content, you'll nurture your existing audience, your followers, subscribers, and friends on social media. Nurturing is valuable, but it isn't growth in any stretch of the imagination. You'll be constantly reinventing the wheel. You'll be wondering what to post next. You'll work harder, and eventually you'll burn out because the content isn't building anything. It's simply creating activity. One of the biggest surprises my clients experience is how tactical this process really is. They expect us to start filming. Instead, we spend time on strategy. We research. We do a competitive analysis. We focus on that category selection. The next surprise comes within a couple of months after they start seeing the traction. They become the strongest authority in their category way sooner than they expect. Then the leads begin coming in and they express how excited they are about the lead quality. It's completely different from the leads that they've gotten through traditional advertising because they're higher quality, they're already looking for help, they already trust you. So it creates this whole new conversation when you don't have to work so hard to build trust. That's what thought leadership does. If this conversation about thought leadership feels different from anything that you've heard before, I'd love to show you exactly how it works. In my free Thought Leader Dominance webinar, I'm going to walk you through the complete framework I use to help experts become the go-to authority in their industry. You'll see how to identify the right category to own, how to uncover the questions that your dream clients are already asking, and build a strategy that positions you where these people are actively searching for answers. You'll see many examples from real clients across lots of different industries who've gone from creating content with a little traction to becoming the obvious choice in their entire space. So if you're ready to stop creating content for the sake of content and start building a system that consistently generates trust, leads, and thought leadership, then register for free at theleafstrategy.com. I'll see you there.